Hello guys, DJParson here, and I'm back with the next game of the International Championship. This is gonna be game number 2. And yeah, like last time, we're just gonna be hopping into that really quickly. I already loaded the game, so you guys can see that. And yeah, it's gonna be a replay again, of course. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you find this new format. I'm planning on, for the next games, maybe recording the last couple of my turns, because they're very interesting. So maybe that's something interesting that you can comment on what you would think about that. Anyway, this is a 4-player game against Silent, Damaris, and Genghis ship. I have the first turn, and yeah, I take the Roman roads here. If you're the first player, it's a pretty easy decision, right? You have only 5 cards you can choose from. Just take the best one, and Roman roads, one of, if not the best wonder in the game. Talking about wonders and of course leaders, let's take a look at them. Some interesting things that we can talk about, perhaps Zizka and Joan of Arc with military actions, Robespierre with a military action. We don't have the Colosseum, so that MA is missing, and then we do have the Kremlin. Oh, and also Catherine. So yeah, overall, especially in H1 and 2, there's quite a few military actions in the game. Besides that, we have some combos. There is Shakespeare, but he doesn't really have a good setup in H1. There's no Gutenberg. We also have Gaudi, but we don't have Bach, so there's no Joan of Arc Bach combo. There's also in H3 no Marlene. We don't have Bill Gates either, and there's no Pierre. So yeah, a lot of the synergy that I'm often looking for is not there. But for example, we do have James Cook and the Suez Canal. We have a railroad, but no what. We have the Machu Picchu, and there's also Isabella, James Cook, Suez Canal. That can be a thing. There can be early pressure with Zizka. There is the Hamichi Castle. We do have the Red Cross in the end. That's important. In 4 players, it's not as crazy, I would say, as in 1 vs 1s. And there's Hollywood and Internet if it's a lot of cultures in the end, with Fleming or Shakespeare. We also have Sid Meier. Alright, so yeah, as I said, I took the Roman roads. I think they're the most solid wonder. Silent also just grabs wonder, grabs the library. So continuing, Tamiris takes Ashoka and the Rich Land. Interesting that he likes Ashoka so much. I think most people would have grabbed Hippocrates and the Rich Land, but yeah, just his decision. Goes to Genghis ship, goes to Hammurabi and the Acropolis. And then let's see what else comes out. There's Engineering Genius. I also still need a leader. I do go for Hippocrates. He's very solid. And then I do the standard stuff. Not much to talk about here. Just build that mine, increase pop. Especially in 4 players, it's not worth it to go for the Engineering Genius for 2 civil actions, I think. In 1 vs 1s, you mostly do that to deny the Engineering Genius from opponent. Because if you don't grab it for 2, he gets it for 1. But that's not not that much in 4 players. Tamaris goes, builds the mine as well, grabs Urban Growth. Yeah, of course, with Ashoka you want some yellow cards. Maybe you don't use them yet, who knows. Genghis ship does go for Hammurabi, builds a mine. Pretty standard stuff. Grabs an early irrigation. Okay. For 2 civil actions, but yeah, he has Hammurabi, so he does have some extra ones. Development of civil life. I can only use that to increase population. Or did I build? I guess I built the lab, right? I had 3 population. So yeah, I build a lab. And then increase population later. I also grab the iron. Do get rich land with that. That is a really strong start. Yeah, that's not perfect with the Roman roads, because Roman roads already give extra resources. And we get some more resources here. But early iron is still super good, especially in 4 players. You want the iron at some point anyway, because it's just very good. And yeah, we see Silent here go for a lot of science. Aristotle and the library also means he skipped the second lab, which I think makes a lot of sense. He has enough science production and then extra from Aristotle as well. Tamaris grabs some cards, so he's starting to produce more. Also, he skipped the HA wonders and is now building on the St. Pete's. I mean, then Theology grab, I guess he just made that so he had 2 different colored cards in hand to produce extra, but I mean, you don't really need Theology when you have the St. Pete's. Genghis ship goes for irrigation and Barbarossa. I mean, early irrigation works super well with Barbarossa as well. I would like for him to get some military actions as well, but first of all he picks up the knights. Development of science, that's pretty good for us. That means I can go for the iron this turn, upgrade 2 times. That's exactly what I do. And then I could think about a new leader, but I don't. I mean, the only possibility is Michelangelo, and maybe he's not perfect here. Yeah, I guess cartography is interesting. I probably see the Suez Canal, as we talked about Suez Canal. There's Isabella and James Cook, so colonies could be something that's good to go for. So I just grab the cartography. Alternatives could have been reserves, or yeah, Michelangelo could have been fine. Silent goes with development of politics. Now he does build the lab, okay. Forget what I said, goes for the lab, goes for Joan of Arc. There's also Zizka and Isabella. Tamiris will open development of trade routes, and then yeah, just finish the St. Pete's. And he will go for Michelangelo, okay, so he could get some really early culture production. He also gets extra resources and food from Ashoka now. Genghis ship will open development of agriculture. Even more food for him. He has enough food now. Goes and elects Barbarossa, builds 1 unit just like that, and grabs a monarchy, urban growth, and patriotism. Alright, alright. I do go for Isabella. With the cartography, I can win any colonies. I don't know if colonies are in there. We're gonna find out. And then we have the Roman roads here. Let us start building. Haven't finished it. I have a lot of resources. What I'm really missing is civil actions. So honestly, I myself am a little surprised that I go for Isabella here. Yes, I played this game myself. Don't worry, guys, but it has been a little bit, yeah, some time ago. I mean, it helps with the corruption, no doubt. Zizka could have been fine, but I just drew the Legion here. Didn't have that before. There's no tactic revealed. And if you go for Zizka and don't have a tactic, then no one will give you a tactic. A good one, at least. And then, yeah, you're stuck with Zizka for just giving 1 military action. That's not enough. So, yeah. Silent will go with the alchemy. Even more science. I mean, he grabs 2 more technologies. I don't know if he wants to go for alchemy. He has 12 science already. Produces another piece of 15 science for him. Tamiris will also build a warrior and build 1 religion. Wonder if he... No, doesn't go for Michelangelo yet. Just grabs the engineering genius. I mean, that's synergy with Michelangelo, of course. And he still produces extra food and resources from Tamiris. Genghis ship will use the patriotism, go for an extra knight, or 2 actually, and has the tactic. So 10 strength for him. Bread and circus also grab for him. And then I probably should get going with the Roman roads. There is the strategic territory, so I do manage to be able to win this one. So that's definitely good. Just have to send 1 warrior, so that's a good position. So the cartography already paid off a little bit. I have extra strength now. Not enough to defend against Genghis ship, but keep in mind he only has 1 military card. That's the problem, the big problem with Barbarossa, that you spend all of your military actions on units, you don't draw that much. So if you're only on 2 military actions, it's not that likely that this is an aggression. And especially after that, even playing aggressions is expensive for him, because it costs military actions to play those. So yeah, they're gonna see if that really is one or not. I do build an extra warrior and can play the Legion, but I don't fulfill it. And yeah, there's no chance I could defend against Genghis ship, but yeah, guess I just hope that he finds another target. Silent goes for the Image Castle and Iron, as well as Joan of Arc. Builds 1 warrior, has the Legion as well, goes up to 5, and he can defend maybe against Genghis ship. Still with 19 science saved up. He's not spent a single point of science. He's gotten so much extra from the early library and from Aristotle, but he's not spent anything yet. Imagine, I guess he probably had the Dark Ages himself. Imagine there were Dark Ages now, he loses like 6 or 7 science. That would hurt. Well, let's see what Tamiris grabs. Knights for 3, that's expensive. He's afraid of an aggression. Honestly, personally in this position, I wouldn't have grabbed the knights for 3 here. That's really expensive. Maybe he doesn't have that much else to do, but even the warfare could be fine. yeah, there's Genghis ship can basically, if he has an aggression, win against anybody. He can guaranteed win against me. I can only defend with 4. Even against Silent, yeah, he could theoretically defend. So I would just bank on him not going for an aggression, not having one. Okay, now, yeah, sure. He goes up to 7 strength, then he can defend, so I guess maybe it makes sense. Yeah, take that back. Genghis ship will go for an aggression, steals 3 resources. I have enough resources. I'm fine with that. Then he will go from Burner Circus. And see, now he only has 1 military, so only draws 1 card. And now all of a sudden he's not dangerous anymore. The chance that this single card that he has is an aggression are pretty low. So yeah, we can just basically ignore his strength right now. If we have something better to do. Something better is the wealthy territory. I get back all of those resources. Send one warrior only for that. Alchemy, go for that. Build or upgrade 1, upgrade another. So I have resources and science now. And as I said, I just ignore military. I'm not afraid of Genghis ship at all. The chances are just not that high. Knowledge of the Ancients means some extra science for all of us. Silent also gets 1 extra resource. He will go for another technology. He finally starts spending them. Okay, and then he wants to upgrade some swordsmen and some iron. So he's getting his economy together, his strength up. I mean, at some point we need strength. That's for sure. Tamaris will go for coat. And what else will he go for? An extra farm. Regality. Regality as well. Still produces extra with Ashoka. I mean, he might lose. Okay, go away. Yeah. He might lose Ashoka here. There's 8 cards left after his turn. There's a chance that Ashoka survives 1 more turn. But even then, I guess it's a trade, right? He gains 1 extra food and resource. And maybe the chance to still replace Ashoka and not run out of time. If he had gone for Michelangelo last turn, he would produce some culture, but not the resource and the food, but he would be guaranteed to get that civil action back. I guess this makes sense. Genghis ship does not, or did not go for an aggression. He opened the what's it called? The pestilence, so he loses 1 population, destroys a warrior, I believe, and can probably just rebuild that. Goes for monarchy for cheap because of the Acropolis, and yeah, just rebuilds the warrior with good old Barbarossa. So 5 cards left. Yeah, I guess Tamiris is probably gonna run out. Yeah, definitely. I grab the Forbidden City. I still decide to completely ignore military here. I have so many resources. I just need somewhere to spend that. Yeah, and wonders are where you spend resources if you have too many. There's a slight chance that Silent would go for an aggression. Tamiris probably not. I mean, that could be a bad chain of events if Silent goes for an aggression and I defend, and after the Tamiris and Genghis ship go for an aggression. But most of the, yeah, some of the aggressions are really bad, I guess. But it's just a risk, and theoretically I can defend against both Silent and Tamiris, and then I'm perfectly fine with losing 1 to Genghis ship, who again only drew 1 card, so it's still not that likely. So this is a great thing where I can just, for myself, decide to ignore that. Silent does not go for an aggression, doesn't go for politics at all, goes for irrigation instead. Interesting that he doesn't go for Code of Laws. He's not in a hurry to spend his science, apparently. Wants to get his the rest of his production up. Good harvest. All of these guys have a lot of food production. I only have 2. That's also why Silent skipped the politics last turn. He wanted to upgrade the food. I guess that makes a lot of sense. So Joan of Arc, of course, saw that card on top, so that's one great way to use her. Tamiris will go for Michelangelo, and probably he also lost population, so destroy the warrior and just rebuilds that. And then he will go for iron, but he has to get out of corruption somehow. Does that like this, goes for the iron, can upgrade once. So yeah, he gets his military up as well. Let's see if Genghis ship drew a new aggression. I don't think so. I don't hope so. He did. Enslave. That's a pretty bad one. I mean, it's also super costly for Genghis ship, but of course, if you draw it, you're gonna go for it. It's pretty good. 2 resource, 2 food. I lose 1 population, and I really need population, so that definitely hurts. But yeah, I just played the chances there. So this is a situation. I guess we can first look at the turn of Genghis. She goes for 3 of the bread and circuses. I mean, I like bread and circuses, but there's no Pierre in here, so I don't know why he built an extra one. I guess he needs the happy faces soon because of Barbarossa, but still seems a little bit excessive. Also, not drawing any new cards. That's what I meant, why it's expensive for him, going for the aggression for 2 military actions, the enslave. Yeah, it doesn't leave him with a lot of military actions. But yeah. Inhabited territory, another one that I win. Great, just paying 1 resource, so I win all the colonies. And in general, sure, we had 2 aggressions from Genghis that definitely hurt, losing 1 population, losing some resources, but I mean, the resource is not a big deal. We have enough of those. And yeah, now I can probably spend some of the resources on the Forbidden City. I decide to increase population. I guess I don't finish that. I want to get my strength finally. Build 1 knight and another one. So I got to 7 strength. So at least I can defend against Silent and Timurus. And I mean, Genghis ship only had this card. He had that last turn or before that, so this is not an aggression, I'm pretty sure. So I just want to make sure that I can defend against Silent and Timurus. And then I grab the Theocracy, because I need more military actions really badly. I will get 1 extra civil action from the Forbidden City next turn, hopefully. And then I can go for Theocracy. I have these 3 colonies, so my population is very fine, even on 2 farms. I lost some population to the Enslave and to the Pestilence, so that is the one part where I don't feel super confident, is my population. But that's where the inhabited territory really helps, where the extra yellow cube from Roman roads and from Hippocrates, don't forget those Hippocrates yellow cubes that I've gotten, those come in really handy. So my position overall is perfectly fine. I think I have so many resources, and then soon the Forbidden City. The aggression's hurt, but I guess it's fine, as long as I stabilize. So that's why I go for military here. I also do have the heavy cavalry, so building these knights is a pretty good way to spend resources. Silent and Timurus go for the open borders agreement, extra military actions for them. And then justice system for Silent. Also really interesting that he decides to grab the justice system for 2 civil actions instead of code of laws. Basically just to get the 3 blue cubes, so that's an interesting thing to think about. How much do you spend, or how much worth do these 3 blue cubes have? You spend 1 more science and 1 more civil action for 3 blue cubes. I guess if you don't have any extra source of those blue cubes, it makes sense. And then he also increases population. Okay. Timurus will go for iron, increase population. Scientific method for 3. That was the second time that Timurus grabbed something for 3 where I mean, that's always expensive. I always take a look at when people take something for 3 and ask myself, do they really need to? Genghis ship, yeah, doesn't play politics. This card, probably not one that you would like. And then it's my turn again. I do finish the Forbidden City. Get that nice door sound. And I guess maybe Theocracy, build a knight. Yeah, increase population. Build a knight. Play the heavy cavalry. And yeah, play the Theocracy. I mean, I'm setting myself up for a low civil action game with this Theocracy. I could have done it differently. I could have not gone for this. Yeah, I grabbed it last turn, but I don't need the happy face because I've got the Forbidden City. I could have, I don't know, just grabbed Warfare for next turn and then maybe get Republic. There's those corn mons, they're really good. I have a lot of science. Theoretically, I could have even gone for Republic this turn, right? And still finish the Forbidden City. But then the problem with the Republic is military actions. Yeah, there's Catherine I could go for, there's the strategy, but I guess I could have just grabbed the Warfare here maybe. But let's see, the Theocracy is also fine, I guess. The extra military action helps. I can finally defend against anybody. Historic territory, I decide to not go for that because it would be too risky. I've learned from my past mistakes. If I'd sent 1 knight away, that would cost me 6 strength. I would go down to 8, and then there would be an aggression from Genghis ship maybe. So I also don't need the happy face, so decide not to bid for that colony. Silent will go for Republic here now. He saved up that science, has a lot of civil actions now, can grab more science, so he gains that back, and then increase population and build a mine, as well as rebuild that swordsman, or 2, okay. So he goes up to 11 strength, is not the weakest. Tamarus goes for another pact between him and Genghis ship. He will be producing 1 extra resource and Genghis ship 1 extra food. He also goes for Robespierre without any government forms. So that's always a little bit risky. But I mean, Michelangelo is not doing that much for him right now. Yeah, he's producing some culture, but he's not grabbed any wonders with him yet. With Michelangelo, you really want more wonders to grab, and not just for the culture production, especially because it's only about 2. No, 3, I guess, for Michelangelo. I guess it makes maybe some sense to grab Robespierre. In 4 players, I mean, there's a scenario where he doesn't get any new government forms. Genghis ship did draw a nice war. That's really good for him. Can maybe pay off to go for the strength. Goes against Silent. Just builds 1 extra warrior. He's gone through his whole yellow bank almost. So yeah, I guess these brand circuses are really needed. Has 19 strength and goes for navigation as well. So 21 strength. And he will get the science back from the war technology. Probably that's the plan. I get the strategy. That's an expensive pick for 3, but I still go for it. And can build 1 knight to get out of corruption, going up to 19 strength. If we take an overview here, I'm really lagging behind in culture. We see that we have 2 players who have good production. I mean, I have 19 resources. I just have too many resources lying around. I regret a little bit going for the Theocracy. If not, I could have gone for Conmon this turn. Maybe grab something like the Louvre. I don't know if that would have worked, but the Louvre, for example, would be great for me. Just get rid of the resources. I don't need so many in the bank. Just spend them somewhere, get a lot of culture production going. But I mean, like this, I can also go for strength. The only problem that I see is that I'm committed to heavy cavalry with knights. So if I don't find the hussars, this will be a pretty inefficient military at some point. I mean, right now it's fine. Right now everybody has H1 tactics, and heavy cavalry is actually the most efficient H1 tactic. But that's going to change with H2 tactics, and then I would really like to transition, and that's not that easy with 4 knights. Silent grabs the rifleman. He already has the swordsman, but maybe he uses that to defend this war efficiently, or spend all of his science, I guess. Yeah, spends all of his science, so there can only be 5 science stolen by a Genghis ship with that war. And then, let's see, Tamarus goes for those specific methods. Destroys 1 farm, builds warrior. He doesn't want to be a target of an aggression, probably. Interesting that he lets the first Conmon slide. Yeah, he uses Michelangelo once to grab the Kremlin, but then he doesn't pick up the Conmon. I mean, then there's only 2 government forms left. There's only 1 Republic and 1 Conmon left. Let's see if Tamarus will be getting those. He definitely needs them with Robespierre. Oh, right, I forgot about that. Right, there's not only 2 signs stolen, there's the civil service stolen. Ooh. And the failed aggression. Tamarus, that's probably why he went for Robespierre, so he could defend against the aggression from Tamarus. So that was nicely played. But of course, Silent losing his justice system definitely hurts him. But he has enough civil actions. So, of course, it's never good when that happens, but it's not like that was super important for him because he has the Republic, of course. Genghis ship then will go for cannons, goes for 1 as well, 24 strength, rich land. Guess he plans to go for coal in 2 turns, has rich land and another one in the hand. Barbarians is opened, Tamarus has the most culture and is one of the 2 weakest, so we'll be losing that population. Oh, I do get the Louvre, sadly I can't finish it this turn. So I guess I just increase population again, maybe build another knight. No, I upgrade 1 mine and build a knight. Oh yeah, gets me out of corruption, so that's good. I mean, this selective breeding is probably not that important. I'm really struggling for civil actions still. because I'm only at 5. So I would have liked, like, if I had the justice system, that would be super good or super important for me, or if I'd gotten the Code of Laws. Same goes for Kremlin. I would have loved the Kremlin for the extra civil actions, but yeah. Louvre is also going to be fine. I can finish that next turn. Finally spent my resources in a good way. And then another knight, of course, is pretty good as well. New deposits, even more stuff that I have to spend. So I try to spend my resources. So I guess it's really, really good that I have the Louvre. That's some of the 27 resources gone. Maybe I get selective breeding, can spend some more resources there, but yeah, I really need to find a way to make these resources do something and not just sitting around. Silent will go for Organized Religion and Catherine. I mean, Catherine with the Republic makes a lot of sense. He has 4 military actions right now, but one comes from Joan of Arc and the other one comes from the Pact. So once H2 is over, he goes down to 2 military actions. There's no strategy because I have that, and that's really dangerous. Republic with only 2 military actions, especially because he's relatively weak, doesn't have the best military setup, only infantry. So Catherine, just to get the military action when he needs it, makes a lot of sense. And then Timiris will start and finish the Kremlin. Needs some heavy phases now. Luckily there comes the theology. I didn't think he could use that. Of course he has good synergy with St. Pete's and Kremlin, but he still needs more heavy phases. Because he has 6 units in, or 6 population in military, that of course means you need more efficient ways to get heavy phases, but yeah, this gets him out of it. And he went down to 1 farm. He's actually consuming more than he's producing, so that's always rough. But next turn he has the selective breeding, so then everything is going to be fine. Or not. Maybe not everything is going to be fine, because we have the War of the Territory from Genghis Ship against Timiris. Genghis Ship has done a pretty good job drawing the correct cards. He's drawn not that many, but he's drawn 2 aggressions that he could use, and 2 wars, so not bad. I guess he maybe goes for another cannon, maybe has a new tactic. Yeah. Okay, he basically got the perfect card draw. I mean, look at that. He has no extra cards in hand. I don't know if he's... I don't even think he played any cards. So he has drawn 2 wars and a really good tactic, mobile artillery. So yeah, sometimes when everything is going good, you get even better cards. He will draw the Rifleman and Journalism, and that probably means we get the selective breeding now. First we open the Rebellion. Silent will lose 2 civil actions, but he has enough, I think. I grab the Architecture. Oh yeah, Architecture is a great way to save civil actions on that Louvre. Can be used later for the Suez Canal, so I can go for the Suez Canal next turn if I want to and finish that in one go, so I think that's pretty good. The only problem is that I don't have a colony right now, so I hope to draw that, and then I would get a lot of resource production from that. But I think I just go for the selective breeding here. And Cook, yeah, sure, Cook is good. I think, yeah, even play him gives 4 culture, and I don't know if there's more colonies in the deck or not, but of course he's going to help with that. Equally as good as Isabella, I would say. And there, I do draw territories. Very nice, very nice. Silent will open another territory that I am able to win. Or a knight. Silent will then go for wave, cannon, engineering genius. Oh, it looks like the Suez Canal might be gone before it's our turn. Yeah, that came out not at the perfect time for us. I mean, if we get it, then maybe it was the perfect time. I mean, or maybe we are guaranteed to get it. Yeah, right. Timiris can't grab the Newton here, so Suez Canal will stay there for us if I want that. Genghis Ship. I mean, he's not gonna grab it, right? He can't use the Suez Canal. He doesn't have any colonies. He goes for even more strength, 39. He's been doing nothing but go for strength in this game, and yeah, showing us really strongly how that can turn out if you are drawing the right aggressions. If you make that strength pay off, and then I open Call to Arms, so they lose some civil actions. And yeah, I can go for the Suez Canal. Sadly, I can't finish it. I'm missing one civil action to finish it in one go. Yeah, had to grab it for 4 because I already have a lot of wonders. That's really a lot of wonders with only very few civil actions. But yeah, I do have the strategic territory in hand, so I can finish this next turn and get that, get some extra strength, more culture production. I mean, I even won the 4th one, the developed territories. I'm producing even more culture. And then yeah, next turn probably select breeding as well. That's something I'm definitely missing. Some more food production, but yeah. I sadly don't draw a new colony with maybe inhabited 2 or even vast territory 2 would have been great here. I mean, I have enough blue cubes, so vast probably would have been the best colony to draw here, but at least I have some colony in hand. Silent needs happy faces. He goes for some more organized religion, reveals his tactic, and I guess he just upgrades and builds 2 of those cavalrymen, going up to 28 strength. That's not bad. Can grab a breakthrough as well. I mean, H3 has just started. Let's take a quick look. We are relatively close in culture. I've definitely done a good job catching up in the culture. I'm producing way more than the other guys. Silent does have quite a few more because he's also producing 6 here, but it's fine. Gangstership. His military strength didn't translate into culture yet. I guess that's probably gonna follow soon when he goes for wars, war for culture, or whatever else his plan is. And then, I mean, from the rest I'm also fine. Besides food, of course, but my yellow bank is still fine thanks to the yellow cubes that I got from the colonies, from the run roads and Hippocrates. And then if I get selective breeding up and running, it's gonna be even better. So yeah, Silent will finish his turn. Tamiris does get the Conmon here, but look at his yellow bank. Can do the revolution, has to destroy 1 iron. Luckily, he has St. Pete, so Happy Face is not the biggest issue, but yeah. I mean, he said he's gonna get his food production up, but after that war, he has the selective breeding now, but still in -1 food production. That's really rough. Does grab the cannon. Cavalryman has a lot of civil and military actions now with the Kremlin and Robespierre, the Conmon. There's a pact, the promise of military protection. Gangstership offers me that, and I accept because I have a lot of culture production, not that many, but not that much strength. So I think that's a great pact for me, getting that extra strength up. Gangstership goes for more production and sets up for computers. And then I declare war over technology on Tamiris. Finish the Suez Canal, get the strength up. Also using the strategic territory to draw H3 cards is pretty good. I draw some, like the international tourism is a really good pact. A bit of industry this early could mean I can go for oil perhaps. And also drawing the war right now gives a lot of options as well. And then I go for food. I mean, the war is not bad, right? I have 29 strength against 15. I don't see a great way for him to get that much more strength. I mean, maybe I didn't consider this enough. If he goes for the mobile artillery, he could get a lot of strength. We'll have to see if that is true. But it's only the war of technology. I'm not going to lose by that much, so I just think it's a good opportunity to maybe grab some free science if he doesn't want to commit fully to the war. So yeah, I go for that war. And then let's see. I have to discard a lot of cards that I've drawn, keeping the war and the tourism. Also I get stronger than Silent, so you can't steal 1 yellow cube. There is Dark Ages. Ooh. There was Dark Ages, but luckily for Silent, it happens when he doesn't have that much science anymore. That's a pretty late Dark Ages in H3. That's yeah, not really thematic, but I lose 7 science for that. That really hurts. Silent can grab the military theory and revolutionary idea. I mean, yeah, military theory must have for him with Republic. That's so good. And then let's see how Tamiris can respond to this war. Destroys. Did he really just... Oh, yeah, he has to destroy so much. An H2 lab and an H1 mine. He's gonna commit to this, to defending this war. But that's super expensive for him. But I can go for 3 cannons and copy the tactic, going up to 32 strength. I mean, in the end, it's not going to be good for me because Timurus probably had the worst position before that anyway, and I lose 3 extra science, so this is more of a 1 vs 1 play. Then it would have been great. I mean, Timurus is in shambles now. He's really struggling. Had to destroy so many things that are very expensive just to defend his science. Genghis ship goes for an aggression against silence, so he starts to get some culture up. Goes for fundamentalism, and yeah, develops that, and Air Force. So yeah, he's had a clear path for this game from the start. Just go for wars, or just go for strength. Losing this 3 science here is pretty bad, because that means I don't have the science for civil service anymore, and civil service here would have been so great. So yeah, that was a pretty unfortunate turn of events, losing first 7 science to the Dark Ages and then 3 science to the war. That's 10 science gone. That is the civil service already, especially in this order, right? First I lose the Dark Ages and then I lose 3 science for the war. So that definitely wasn't how I envisioned that. Economic progress, I mean, 5 food and 9 resource. I am rich. The only thing that I'm really missing is science, so I go for more of those. I skip the civil service to grab the Air Force. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That seems excessive. I mean, there's only one other Air Force left. Silent has a lot of civil action, so we would definitely grab the Air Force if I don't take it. Maybe I mean, I also have to be careful. I only have knights thus far. If I don't find more strength soon, then I will be the target of the next wars. So if I don't get the Air Force, there's nothing else on the board. I can't grab tanks or anything right now, so I could really starve for new technologies. And the Air Force work relatively okay with the heavy cavalry. I just need 1 extra knight and then can build 2 Air Force, and that's a lot of strength. Missing out on the civil service could backfire. It's still relatively early in the age, and then going through the whole age 3 with only 5 civil actions, definitely gonna hurt a little bit. I draw a lot of wars. I have 3 wars already. That's very good information in a 4-player game. Silent will go for military theory, reserves, patriotism. He's also, yeah, probably setting up for some wars. Timurus opens inhabited territory, and I don't win it. That really sucks. But yeah, Timurus has to send an army for that. That's also really expensive. Yeah, sadly I didn't draw any H3 defend cards, which is really unfortunate. I drew a lot of cards from the strategic territory, this big one, and then also from normal card draw, but didn't find any colonization cards. If I had 1, I could have gotten this colony, I think, maybe. I mean, 11 is quite a lot. I think I was able to bid 8. So with 1 more card, I could have gone up to 11 as well. And then he would have lost because it's his turn. Yeah. He's willing to send a lot for this. Can rebuild immediately. Helps his yellow bank, for sure. So maybe not the worst idea. Goes and destroys another warrior. And grabs military theory and pro sports. Genghis ship goes for war, but not against me, but Timurus. Goes for cannon and another knight, so 55 strength. I mean, he's really... it's pretty impressive how much he's been doing. He's gone for strength the whole game, it feels like, but he still was able to put up a nice... yeah, nice food, resources, science, everything, basically. I mean, science is a little bit bad now because of the fundamentalism, but still not too bad. Grabs Admire. Seems ambitious, but yeah, he has computers, and he has a lot of resources. 21 resource is pretty good. Gets the urban growth as well. As historic territory, I also don't win this one. That's definitely unfortunate. But yeah, I just didn't have the card draw for enough of those defend cards. Actually, the civil service stayed here. That's really interesting that nobody has taken that. I still feel the pressure, so I still go for those air forces. Yeah, definitely 1, 2, and yeah, grab the civil service and multimedia. I'm really missing the science. That is turning out to be a problem. I mean, overall, I still have a good position. I think if I had to rate positions right now, Timoris is maybe last. That really was really expensive, everything he had to do to defend 2 wars. So yeah, I mean, with this production, you're not gonna keep up. So I think I really like my position still. I have still a lot of culture production. Of course, six of that comes from James Cook, but yeah, I also have an okay military position. Just 1 more knight gives me a big boost. Yeah, 1 more knight is 10 strength. After that, it becomes quite hard. On the other hand, I do have a great yellow bank, so going for another army costs 4 population. That's not easy to do, not easy to do at all. But I guess I'm hoping that around 50 strength might be enough. So going for 1 more knight will give me that. Yeah, Genghis ship has a little bit of a timer. He's not producing that much culture. There's like 3 or 4 turns left, so he really starts to get that culture somewhere, either wars or... He has his options for Sid Meier as well. I mean, Sid Meier computers upgrade both with urban growth and some wonder. That can do a lot. And then Silent is also not looking bad. Has a lot of reserves. Has military setup. He has cannons, so he can go for modern army. Then it will be interesting if he gets the Air Force or if Timoris will get it. But if I had still my 10 science, then it would be looking great. Then I could go for civil service here or even last turn. So that was a really, really unfortunate event. Sadly, we can't see it. But yeah, losing the 10 science in 1 round. I mean, 3 of that happened because I declared the war. I could have just not declared the war. Yeah, probably that was a mistake in retrospect because Timoris was down already quite a bit. So I didn't have to punish him anymore. So with him being able to defend, if he really wanted to, it was maybe a little bit risky to do that and unnecessary, right? Didn't need to do that. But yeah, drawn another war. Okay, drawn 4 wars now. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 2 more wars and the hybrid war, of course. So that's good information. Maybe not that many wars going to be happening. Silent does go for cannons, increase population, and yeah, go for that cannon. Probably has modern army in hand. He's definitely setting up for it, and maybe he's setting up for war in general against Timoris. Maybe me. We're gonna find out. Another territory. This time I'm able to win it thanks to my card draw. So I get another territory. Some more science. That's really important. Getting the science up here means I can go for multimedia or civil service next turn. So 5 extra science here. That's really fortunate, really good. What I'm really searching for is probably the input of colonies. That's a lot of culture I would gain from that. But I'm also getting more culture production from James Cook is always good. And then Timoris goes for military, endowment of the arts, revolutionary idea, democracy. Could even, I guess he spent military actions, so yeah, maybe a little bit ambitious, I don't know. Genghis ship wins that war. Alright, that is also out. So there's not a lot of wars left. But yeah, he gets his culture up, freedom of movement. He uses that to, I don't know, probably food. And then goes for computer 1 and 2. And he has so many resources, he can't even go for another one. Oh yeah, 11 culture production all of a sudden. Crazy transition from Genghis ship here. Was not really expecting that, but yeah, all of a sudden he's at 11 culture production. Probably because he's not drawn any more wars. If he had drawn more wars, he probably would have continued that. Declare another war on Timoris, go for more units, go for air forces, but he's not drawn the extra wars because I had all of them in my hand. So he goes for culture instead. So yeah, great being so flexible. Autonomous territories, sadly I don't win this one. I mean, that would have been the absolutely best colony for me. More civil and military actions. But sadly I spent all of my colonization cards on the last one. And also I don't have a tactic that I can easily send away. Genghis ship gets it for 1 knight. That's pretty great for him. I decide to grab the modern infantry. I wonder if I will go for civil service here or not. What did I use the freedom of movement for? From alchemy to air force. Yeah, here I'm really still afraid. Also I might be going for multimedia, so I mean, with all of those wars that I had, maybe I should not play this afraid here. I still have a lot of strength potential. Yeah, maybe using the alchemy to put that into Air Force is a good move, but I'm afraid I go for modern infantry here. That's one thing I don't really like. I don't really see potential for me to go for wars because I need to copy the tactic. I mean, this is what I'm going for, right? Classic army. But then I also need 4 modern infantries. I guess next turn I could go for the war, but then I only have 2 military actions left. So this turn I have to copy, build modern infantry. Yeah, there is a way, but then I really have to commit. I don't know if I will. Maybe I didn't have that on mind, that I had that many wars already and I don't have to be afraid as much. But I think I would have liked multimedia here. Now I'm setting myself up to... I still have a good position. Play it safe, I guess. This makes me play safe. But that might cost me the first position. Like if someone plays more aggressively or more risk heavy, then he would probably, like Genghis ship, for example. I think he is now the biggest opponent because he's good culture action, also relatively good. Impacts silent is hard to judge really what he will do with the tactics, so he's hard to judge. So I don't know, maybe it's good to play safe. I don't see that much potential for silent to go for war against me, but that's also... I mean, maybe that's exactly what I should be afraid of. If he goes for cannon and rifleman, he will have the modern army again. Can also play the tactic and declare war. So if he has drawn the war, he has a lot of strength coming up. So that's going to be the question if he has one of those 2 wars that are still in, I think. Yeah, we had 4 and then there was 1 plate, so 2 wars still in. If he has that, maybe I should play afraid. We're going to see. I do go for the modern infantry and also build 1, I believe, or even 2. Yeah, building 2. I also have import of strength in hand that I maybe can go for. But yeah, I set myself up here with the army. And I guess I also set myself up for another war myself, right? Or for a war myself. Like this next turn I can declare the war, build 2 modern infantry. That will give me the tactic again, plus the air force that I already have. So that's 26 more strength. Okay, maybe I like this move. 26 strength extra puts me very, very high at 90. 90 strength is a lot that's going to be hard for anyone to defend. So let's see what Silent will do. He opens arms industry. Just let me go to his page. He didn't play any war, goes for Gandhi. Okay, he's afraid now. I guess maybe I did have the right idea. Being the dangerous guy is always good when you see people go for Gandhi because they're afraid. Usually means you're doing something right. So yeah, maybe it was a good move, I guess. Also with the import of strength follow-up. Yeah, I like it. Now I like it. I convinced myself. I have a pretty good game plan. Go for the war next turn if I have the time, but I mean really I should. I had 15 cards left after my turn, so that's on average 5 cards every player has to take. That's probably gonna be enough. I mean, they do have a lot of civil action, especially the later players, so I guess all of them. But I can then go for the war and follow that up with the import of strength. That's pretty strong. So I like that. And I mean 90 strength, that Timurus can't defend against it. I can just clear the war against Timurus and he can't defend against that. Immigration doesn't hit anybody. And he grabs Steve Jobs. I mean, I was saying 5 cards per player is quite a lot, but Silent did exactly that. Took 5 cards. I mean, they want wonders as well, maybe. Timurus will go for military. He's preparing. Yeah, he just doesn't want to be the target of the next war. Or maybe go for war himself? I don't know. Grabs a lot of cards though, so he takes 5 cards as well. We might be looking at a quick game, at a quick ending here. 5 cards left only, and Genghis ship first of all opens import of agriculture. That's 10 to 8 to 3 to 11. So the big question really is for Genghis ship, does he think that another turn is good for him or is it bad for him? And I mean at this point, I don't know. We're gonna see how he decides, but at this point for him to judge that, he's still behind in culture, but he's also not producing more than me. So with the question for him is really, who is he targeting? I think there's no doubt that he's definitely going to win against Timurus. So he will be looking against Silent and me. He doesn't have a Wonder. I also don't have a Wonder. But then he has to also be afraid of the war, right? He has potential, sure. Maybe he can set it up so he could go for tanks and air forces, maybe copying the mechanized army next turn, and then he could defend. But if he's expecting a war from me with 90 strength, which, yeah, I can go for. War with 90 strength. Even against Timurus, who... yeah, I mean, he can defend a little bit. He has military build-up. 1 resource protection from the Pact. So yeah, he has military build-up, so he can build an extra cannon. Upgrade the knights, so he does get the army again. That's 10, let's say it's 15 strength. So it's at 65. That would mean I steal 30 culture. Then it's definitely over for Gengiship, and he... yeah, I guess Gengiship will end. It will make sense for him. We'll also go for strength. Go for those tanks. Urban growth. Engineering. And does grab the... oh yeah, and does end. Grabs the spaceflight, ends the age. So it's going to be our last turn now. So that sadly didn't turn out how we wanted to. Can't go for the war. Rid of culture. Oh, right after I lose our boy James Cook. He was giving me a lot, so I definitely would have won that against Gengiship. So unfortunate that there's first the input of agriculture and then the input of culture. So that could be important. I mean, it's gonna be quite close, right? I've 120 against 97, but he gets a space flight for, I don't know, not crazy, but pretty good, especially engineering. Has the reserves, yeah, has everything. So great, yeah, great play by Gengiship, ending the age. I didn't expect that. I can tell you that much. When there were 15 cards left, I was not thinking they're gonna end the age, because everyone took a lot of cards. 5 cards is a lot, and all of them doing that in the same turn is, yeah, maybe they all wanted the game to end. I mean, Timurus definitely, Silent maybe as well, maybe only. I mean, that can't be that I'm the only one who wants more time, but maybe because I have set up a great war. Yeah, let's see what I can find for this last turn. I have a lot of resource, but sadly no wonder. Go for some religions. That's all I can do. Can't even go for multimedia. Grab away the democracy. So yeah, it was looking great. I think there was no doubt that I would have won this game if there was one more turn. And I could have gone for the war. I even just, yeah, Gengiship just grabbing the space flight was a great move. Even if I just grabbed that away to deny it. I guess that's pretty hard for me because I have so many wonders already and not a lot of civil actions. But yeah, I set up a war and wasn't able to play it. Game ended too soon. Input of variety, 16, 12, 12, and 12. Okay, I mean, Silent is also not out yet, right? He has in United Nations that will be giving him 12, I believe. Yeah, even if the satellites doesn't change it. But 12 probably has some good production. The impacts are going to be really, really important and exciting. Yeah, 12 from the United Nations. Does he have an impact? Yes, progress. 12 to 16, that's okay. 12 and 14. Okay, that's also bad for me against Gengiship. I'm really mostly afraid of Gengiship. He will go for rockets. Can go for that and upgrade a little bit of strength. I mean, I do know that there's input of strength in there. I played that myself when I couldn't go for the war. I guess Gengiship might get stronger than us. We're gonna see that. So Silent goes for some more strength himself. Maybe he thinks there might be competition. Or he just wants to be safe of aggressions from Timurus and Gengiship. Timurus is still looking rough. Goes for an aggression against Silent, but he can defend, of course. So I guess he just did that so that Gengiship has an easier way to go for the aggression himself. He knew that he couldn't get that, but his only hope is, yeah, like it's looking right now, he will be last, and his only hope is to beat Silent probably. So he hopes that Gengiship plays aggression against Silent and then steals the culture from him. Timurus can go for strength as well. Yeah. So there's no aggression on him. And oh, he even gets stronger than me, so a bit of strength might have not been the best. Genghis ship opens a bit of science, 5, 10, 0 and 15. Yeah, I think Genghis ship might have this. He gets the space flight. Okay, first builds a little bit, has reserves as well, gets 61 strength, so stronger than me. 24 from the space flight. Oh yeah, he built an extra bit in circus with his urban growth. Because I counted before I played the Indoor Strength if Genghis ship could get stronger, but I guess I just miscounted. He went for an extra bit in circus and 1 knight, and that gave him enough to get up to 61 strength. So super close, 60, 61 and 62. So Indoor Strength won't be the saving grace here as well. Pro spots for Genghis ship, but he can't develop it. And then, I mean, even before the impacts, Genghis ship has quite the lead. I mean, not by that much. It's going to be close, no doubt, between everyone besides Timur's. There was a bit of colonies. Oh, I guess I must have played that, but I skip over the impacts and the cards played. Let me know if you think that's good, or if I should spend more time looking at my cards. But since I can't take a look at the other guy's card, and this sadly doesn't work yet, I think they still want to fix this in replays. I don't concentrate on that too much and just, yeah, get surprised by the events that I played as well. So Improv Colonies definitely makes it close, so that's definitely helpful. Improv Strength, sadly not. Improv Industry, 7 to 6, yeah, still relatively close. Government, 22, yeah, Government is bad for me. 15 and 19, I think these will be the final standings then. Happiness, 16, 6 only for me, 16 for Silent, but not enough to catch up. So, yeah, really well played by Genghis ship. He had a really interesting game with going for only military, but ending up with quite a nice thing with computers and Sid Meier. I mean, I love for Baron Circuses, and yeah, going for those wars. I mean, he went for war against each one of us, right? He went for the war against. Oh no, he didn't go for war against us. He went for the wars against the other guys. But yeah, really, really interesting game. Well played Genghis ship. If there was one more turn, I think this could look different. Because I guess I would have had to go for the war against Genghis ship himself. I don't know if I would have done that. If I would have just said I go for Timurus instead. Because in the end it's quite substantial, right? Almost 30 culture difference. If I'd gone for the war and won it against Genghis ship, sure, then I would have won against him. But yeah, these guys ended the age quickly and didn't allow me to use my setup turn that I did with the modern infantry. Didn't pay out, or didn't pay off because there was no reward for the setup because, yeah, as I said, no time for that. So congrats Genghis ship. We're also going to take a quick look at the standings right now, if I can get that going. Yeah, there it is. So we go down, 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 and here we see it after 2 games completed for me. 1 second position, 1 fourth position. Only 3 points, not ideal. But these guys have 3 games completed already, but they're looking strong. Genghis ship especially 4 player games, both of them won. He did get last place in the 3-player, so yeah, there's always some balance. Timurus winning, doing the opposite, winning both 3-player games, losing 1 4-player game, and then Irene a little bit in between. So us down below here, the last 4 people, only 2 games complete, 3, 3, 2, and 1 point, so really, really close. I mean, we can't ever count anybody out, as you know. There's 7 games. After 2 or 3, a lot can still change. There's no guarantee that these guys will be in the top in the end. But definitely a great start of the season for him, especially Genghis ship and Timurus. 12 points after 3 matches is very, very good. That probably already secures his staying in the league, I would guess. Maybe not. We gotta let ourselves be surprised sometimes. Maybe Frotus does a late comeback again, like he always likes to, especially in 4 players, right? He always, like here, 3-player games didn't go as great, but if he wins all of his 4 players, of course, it's going to change the standings quite a lot. And this will be all for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game. And yeah, finally get some nice puntos on the board. Wasn't too happy with my first 4-player game, but yeah, now 3 points. Would have liked more, of course, but yeah, game ended too quickly. Wasn't prepared for that. Wanted to give you guys more to see, so I wanted more game, of course. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. As always, if you haven't, please subscribe. If you want to, let me know anything, any feedback in the comments. If you want to, you can also follow me on the other things, on Twitch, on Twitter, where I'm not really active, but still, and Patreon if you want to support me as well. With that said, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you next time.